What are you striving for? For real, what are you striving for? What on earth are we working so hard for that we are working to the extent that we are making ourselves ill? And then we try to remedy this illness with self optimization as if we are machines to be managed. In a culture of toxic productivity, there is no enough. There is no finish line. No matter what we do, there will always be more. Productivity has become religion, and we worship with our finite resources of our energy, our time, and our capacity. We've been conditioned to treat ourselves like commodities, constantly extracting from our finite resources of time, energy, and emotional capacity in the hope that we will get a sense of worth, of purpose, value, and community, the things that give our lives meaning. Productivity is the new religion. Success has become our salvation. And if in salvation we find deliverance from sin, then what is our sin? To be deemed lazy and unproductive. That is from my book, Women Who Work Too Much, where I explore the societal conditions that normalize chronic overfunctioning. When I wrote that sentence, I wasn't really talking about productivity. I was talking about beliefs. I was talking about the stories, the beliefs we have as a society. And in societies, post industrial societies anyway, we have settled on a story that human beings' value lies in what they produce for monetary gain. And in the climate of growth at all costs, productivity becomes toxic, no longer helpful, and in fact damaging to health. Now, going back to religion, religions have a promise that one day we will reach salvation. In a religion of productivity, there is no salvation because salvation is always tantalizingly out of reach because there is always more to do. There is never ever enough. Now, every religion has sins. In our culture, in our religion of toxic productivity and growth at all costs, things like greed and pride are not sins. They are actually revered, especially if you are a man. The sins in toxic productivity culture, in the religion of productivity, are being deemed to be lazy, prioritizing rest, taking care of yourself, having boundaries, feeling satisfied, knowing when enough is enough for you, and knowing what is important and building your life around that. And satisfaction, oh my goodness, that is deemed as if you don't have drive, as if you're lazy and you don't want it enough, whatever it is. Just notice how uncomfortable people become when people say, I'm happy with what I've got. Actually, those aren't my goals. My goals are about living a great life. I tell people all the time that my major goal in life is to be a well rested woman. And it triggers people. The amount of people that misconstrue that as if I am trying to play small, I'm not ambitious, I don't want to live a life that feels full. I want all of those things, but I don't want those things if they compromise my ability to feel well rested. Because me feeling well rested means I've got the energy to live a life that feels good to me. And I know how much that costs financially, emotionally, physically. I have slowed down to take the time to consider what is important to me. Every religion has rituals. The ritual of prayer, religious dates, festivals, things we do on a regular basis that keep us grounded in our faith. In the religion of toxic productivity, those rituals are constantly checking emails. First thing, last thing, your whole life becoming content because everybody needs to have a personal brand to prove they are worth something. We have tracking steps, tracking our food, tracking sleep, tracking everything. We have optimizing ourselves to the nth degree, how much we consume, side hustles, morning routines, all of these things that we do, including self-care, because our self-care has been whittled down to how can this make me more productive, rather than self-care being an act of caring for the self, telling yourself you're important, cherishing yourself. It becomes a vehicle for productivity. We are self-caring so that we can be more productive, to work even more, because there is never ever enough. Now, in and of themselves, none of these things are inherently bad. But when they become chronic and persistent, what is healthy productivity, what is healthy self-care, becomes toxic. Now, I want to share a little bit of my story, which I talk about in my book. I was a local authority social worker working in the field of child protection, and I am still very passionate about that role. But in that role, we were literally dealing at times with life or death. I was regularly in court giving expert evidence, helping judges decide whether or not families should stay together or be separated. I had a lot of responsibility. In addition to that, or not even in addition to that, more important to that, I am a mother. I had a child to take care of. I'm a human being. I had me to take care of. And I was fully up in girl boss culture. I thought that my tiredness meant I wasn't ambitious enough, I wasn't driven enough, I wasn't organized enough. So when my body was crying out for me to slow down and take better care of myself, I decided I must be lazy, and I did things like sign up to a boot camp. So I was strength training at 6 a.m. in the morning when my body was chronically in need of rest. I bought every productivity planner there was on the market. I was watching YouTube videos about how to get more time, even though I didn't have any time to spare, because I firmly believe that my worth was in how productive I was. It was a badge of honor when people would contact me and say, Tamu, I know you're really busy, but I know now that's not a flex. And I also know that I experienced burnout that led to me having a panic attack on the way to work. And by the way, that wasn't my first panic attack. I had more than that. But because I am so resilient, I was able to bounce back and keep calm and carry on. But that day of my panic attack on the way to court was so terrifying, I thought I was going to die. I contemplated calling an ambulance because I felt that out of this world. I made an appointment with my GP, and I saw a nutritionist and had other support, and basically found out that I had experienced burnout, not because I'm weak. Part of the reason I experienced burnout is because I am strong and I am so resilient. But I experienced burnout because we live in a world that normalizes overfunctioning, that normalizes not having boundaries, abandoning yourself, and being productive all of the time. I was constantly finding ways to be more efficient, how to do more in less time when I was already doing too much. And this is the place we find ourselves in when we live in a society that normalizes work addiction. There is no other addiction that is normalized and celebrated like work addiction. I was told I had a good work ethic, that I was dependable, and all of those things. Meanwhile, I was crumbling on the inside. And frankly, I was lucky to have a panic attack that was so severe it took me to my GP. Because for high functioning high achievers who are very resilient, burnout gets so chronic that it often ends up in coronary heart disease, stroke, heart attack, and serious health concerns of that nature. There is no work that is worth you compromising your life. So, these are the things I am going to be talking about on my YouTube channel. And people say consistency beats intensity. Well, when you are somebody who has ADHD, a perimenopausal person who is a chronic overthinker, intensity is actually your best friend. I know myself, people can say what they want on the internet and all of these books. Self-knowledge is the best knowledge. I know that consistency is something that can be an obstacle for me, especially growing up being told the way I do things is the wrong way, and then finding out as an adult that actually the way I do things is the way I'm supposed to do things because my ADHD brain is neuroexpansive. So, it's my birthday this month. My birthday gift to myself is to allow myself to follow intensity. So I am going to be recording and sharing a video every day until the end of June. I'm aiming for them to be 10 minutes, but I'm sure this video has been over 10 minutes. And this intensity is going to help me build the momentum that's going to get me going. And I would love it if you could stick around. I am going to be talking about things like womanhood, productivity, power, relationships, our relationship to ourselves, our relationship to work, boundaries, gender, race, all of the things that come under the umbrella of human flourishing. Because whilst toxic productivity is the issue, the question I am trying to answer is, what is the alternative? What is the remedy to human flourishing? No, what is the remedy to toxic productivity? And as somebody who has an extensive background in behavior change, human flourishing, and human connection, I'm going to be exploring those from a social, psychological, somatic, and societal perspective. I hope you stick around. If you like the sound of that and there are any topics you would like me to cover, please do pop it in the comments because I will be crowdsourcing for topics to cover, not just over the next few days, well, the next month when I'm challenging myself to post every day, but for the ongoing content you will see on this channel. The other thing I want to share is I have been postponing starting this channel properly for far too long. The first time I started to seriously consider YouTube was in 2023 at a mastermind with my publisher. I didn't have the capacity to do it then because I was still writing my book. And then in 2024, I had a branding session with PR guru extraordinaire, my president, Ronke Lawal. And Ronke was like, why aren't you on YouTube? You need to get yourself on YouTube. Prayers, I've finally done it. I'm here. I've started. So I hope you will join me on my journey. So yeah, welcome to Flourishing School, where we explore what it takes to flourish in the modern world. Let me leave you with a question, actually. Is there something you have been postponing until it's the right time or until you have more space to do it? If you have, I want you to consider how you can collapse that timeline and begin. We can start together. If you are going to start something, please do pop it in the comments so I can see and cheer and support you. But that's it from me for now. I've done the video. I don't care if it's good or not. I am just putting it out there because intensity is about just doing what needs to be done in an intense fashion and for me so that I can build momentum. Right, that's it because I'm going to find something else to talk about. I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Goodbye.